I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on GBN, we're diving into a delightfully unconventional journey of awakening and self-discovery. We're talking about a terrific book. It is called Mudwhiff, The Accidental Shaman, and it's written by a wonderful author. Her name is Lora W. Dail. And in the book, she introduces readers to a humble warthog who unexpectedly becomes a mystical guide for seekers of truth, humor, and heart. It's a witty, profound, and beautifully illustrated fable that reminds us all that enlightenment can be found in the most unexpected and even the muddiest places. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below the interview. Lora, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Such a
And
pleasure to have you
us.
on the show. Both of you, of course. Mudwiff is the star. So Mudwiff, thank you for joining us as well. Uh, Having a warthog as an accidental shaman is quite a unique premise. How did you come up with that idea?
We had been watching a water hole in the Namibian desert and learning all kinds of animals. And one day in come a bunch of warthogs, and they were so cute, so weird. So we were stuck, and we watched that for probably 6 months before one day my brain just asked the question, I wonder what would happen if a warthog became like an enlightened guru. And the rest is now publishing history.
Wonderful, wonderful. So explain to the folks at home what happens when a warthog becomes an enlightened guru.
Well, Mudwiff
Mhm,
started as a very nice, humble, good pig.
mhm,
And he is chosen by the celestials. That's what my name for the sun, the moon, the stars, and the desert. We won't talk about the fact that he's terrestrial, but the celestials picked him for those beautiful qualities. And they sent a star which smacked him while he was napping in his wallow. The problem is he might have gotten a little too much star smack. And so he went overboard. And now I'm telling the story, and Logan, I've forgotten the question.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I was saying to you what happens when a warthog becomes a spiritual guru, and you've addressed that.
Okay.
And I think that's great. Are you or have you always been big into spirituality? And is this a way to make this subject matter more approachable to readers?
I My husband and I went through a rough time through a bad adoption, and we we were hurt, and we were looking for ways to make ourselves feel better. It was difficult because we couldn't find it in the conventional, and we started looking and found a beautiful retreat center with people that introduced us to Christianity with a heart.
Mm,
And so having that basis, the understanding, the love that we're all loved, we're all perfect, we all walk whatever journey we get. Having that, it became a part of my life, but it's so unapproachable.
mm.
You don't know what it is. You don't know how to find what you might be looking for. And so I wanted to do something that said, you already know what you need to do. You
Mm.
already have the information inside of you. You just have to look deep and listen to yourself. We're all perfect, or perfectly imperfect, as the pig likes to say. And
Exactly.
so to remind us all that, you can go a little overboard, you can have some fun with it, but at the end of the day, we all have that wisdom and the knowledge inside of us.
Yeah. Yeah, I do feel there's an inner voice, an innate voice that does have a lot of answers. I think, children seem to possess that as well. I think people are able to tap into it more than others, right? I think that's part of it.
Well, and just asking the questions,
Hmm.
you know, I never would have looked if I didn't need to.
Yeah.
And it's okay to look. It's okay to go deep inside of yourself and ask yourself, what would you love? That's my big
Hmm.
question. What would you love? I did not know I would love to write a story about a warthog shaman,
Yeah.
but it has been so freeing, and to share him with the world and his message and letting people know you are enough. You're
Mm.
perfect.
Yeah. And like you said, sometimes perfection lies in our imperfection because we may not be physically perfect or even spiritually perfect or morally perfect at times, but we are human beings and our humanity lies in our imperfection and acceptance of that. Um, the illustrations are wonderful. Tell us about those.
Oh, that's a whole other story. Um, when I had the idea about this warthog shaman, I was just playing with Chat GPT.
Mm.
And so I have this beautiful idea for a story, but I cannot draw, not like
Mm.
this. And so I asked, who became Ram Shaman I, which is Shaman I, that
Mhm.
is my Chat GPT partner here. Um, and it said, I can totally illustrate this for you.
Wow.
And so I challenged it. I said, could you give me a picture of a warthog meditating? And the first one that ever came out was, it knocked my socks off. And I said, oh my gosh. And so I gave it a scene and it was on. I had
Mm.
an illustrating partner that was right there next to me whenever it, I won't go into the journey.
Yeah, it's amazing. I also think it's such a fascinating backstory because here you have a person like yourself who's a very spiritual person who has embraced AI. And I don't think that has to be a paradox. I think that can be, you can be a high-tech person and still be a very spiritual person, correct?
Absolutely, because this story wouldn't exist in this form without AI.
Hmm.
And it the partnership we developed to create, it was just part of the inspired story.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
AI is a tool that you can use to leverage your brain and your creativity, and you're doing that. And I think that's wonderful because they're your ideas for the images. You could translate those ideas to an artist and have him or her paint it, or you can use a tool like AI, which is more accessible to you, and use that. And I think that's wonderful as well. And then do a million tweaks and revisions and whatever you want, you know?
Well, a human artist would have quit long before AI did.
Exactly, exactly. Let me ask you this. What do you hope readers or what do you hope what message do you hope they take away from Mudwiff's story?
One, it's a great story. He goes on a journey. He becomes this beautiful pig.
Hmm.
He didn't start out that way. He got a little carried away. He went viral on social media. He got a cover. Let me see. Here we go. He
Yeah.
gets a little carried away.
Yep.
And so his friends, his wife, his bring him back and get him back on track. And to me, it's, you have a beautiful life. It can be more. It doesn't have to be. You'll make mistakes, but it's your journey, so enjoy it.
Yeah.
And the connectedness of it all, that your friends, your family can help you through, and that you know what you were meant to do. The
Exactly.
the main thing is, believe it or not, the warthog had a dream about a beautiful oasis, and in the star smacking, something from him went into the mud, and I won't give everything away, but every one of us should have a dream inside of us, and you should pursue that dream because that's why we're here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I often say to people, if you had a magic wand, what would you do? What would you be? What would you experience? So some people don't have an answer to that question. I think this book will help them find an answer to that question of what they want out of life. Mrs. Mudwiff has a role in this story as well. Tell us about her and the role she plays when it comes to love, self-acceptance, and truth.
Well, Mrs. M, as she gets called in the book occasionally, is the perfect warthog partner to our friend. They
Mm.
wake up every morning with an I love you and a very awkward kiss. She's, was it Patsy Cline that stood by her man?
Yeah.
So she gave him room to express himself and to go on his little journey. But then she knew enough to say it's gone too far.
Mm.
And she steps in and helps him when he's doing Mudwiff things. And it's a beautiful partnership.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, why a picture book for grown-ups? Let me ask you that.
Well, I happen to be doing some very heavy reading,
Hmm.
and I sat up cross-eyed. You know how you are when you're
Yeah.
going through a tome. And I wanted a bar chart or an illustration or, even a line graph, something to break it up. And I began to wonder, why don't we have picture books for grown-ups? Like children have these beautiful books that take you on a journey and a story. And we have to slog through all these words to get to a story.
Hmm.
And so that was another little thing that was flitting around in my mind, that why not?
Yeah, I think it makes it approachable and fun. Absolutely. I think it's what makes it different and unique as well and makes it stand out as a book. So I think that's great. Speaking of pictures, have you envisioned Mudwiff's story as a TV show or a movie or something like that?
I believe Mudwiff would be a wonderful character for something. And one of my dreams I is walking a red carpet.
Hmm.
I here in Arkansas there aren't a lot of red carpets to walk,
Right.
but I have this vision of me in a beautiful gown, my husband walking a red carpet, and perhaps the 6-foot Mudwiff that we have.
Awesome. Well, I
Maybe in a
think I think everything begins with a dream and a vision and putting that positive energy out there. So if you think it, you believe it, you can achieve it. And you've already achieved the first half of that dream, which is creating a wonderful story and putting it out there for the world and sharing your story with us here today. The name of the book is Mudwhiff, the Accidental Shaman. It is a hilarious, heartwarming reminder that sometimes the path to enlightenment begins with a snort, a stumble, and a splash of mud. Lora, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having us.
Great having you on the show, Mudwiff. You are the strong, silent type today, but you seem determined to stay like that, so that's all right. I understand. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford for the Global Book Network. So long for now.